Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me for the Healing Hour Live, I am a love coach specifically for women who want to stay and heal and reconcile after infidelity. So, I am here to come and teach you exactly how to do that, how to get past the trauma, how to get to a more stable place, get off that emotional roller coaster, and actually be able to enjoy your honey again. You don't want to leave after this infidelity. I know that people will give you a hard time about that. I am not one of them, okay? Because I am one of you. I stayed. I worked it out, all right? Most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life, but guess what? It worked. All right. It's not once a cheater, always a cheater. My husband is very, very trustworthy. I trust him with my life every single day. I do not mind doing that because guess what? We got past it. It's in the past. The mistrust, the pain, the suffering that I went through at the time, it's gone now. I know how to get to that place, and I want to tell you all about how I got there, okay? So, if you have been with me, you have seen my dreams formula. My dreams formula is the 6 step path to healing after infidelity, to reconciling, to be able to come together again. And I teach you all about that here in the group. But before even that, all right, you need to understand one key thing, and that one key thing is the fact that you have been through a trauma, okay? This was a trauma. You have to treat it like a trauma. You have to treat it like something that, okay, yes, it was an emergent situation, but I am taking care of it now, and then I am moving forward with my life instead of getting stuck in it. I know that's the big thing. That's the most difficult part about getting past this is feeling like you just can't get unstuck. Your brain keeps going a million miles a minute. It is telling you awful things that you can't even fight because you're like, he did cheat on me. So it must be right that he doesn't love me. It must be right that this, that, and the third. I am here to tell you that you do not have to continue to listen to your brain do that. That is a trauma response. Okay. We have got to learn that that is a trauma response. Start to not internalize it so much. Start to recognize it for what it is. Start to say, okay, look, brain, I get that you're trying to protect me, but I can't live with you saying things like that. I am not comfortable. It doesn't make for a happy life for me. I know you don't want me to be with him, but I'm making that choice to be with him. Okay. So you're just going to have to get on board. You're going to have to get your brain to come along for the ride. If you want to work this out, you get to say that. Your trauma, your brain will not say that. All right. So this is all on you. You have decided that in your heart, you really love this person. You really want to be with this person. You really want this to work out. You don't want this to be the end of your fairy tale, but it's difficult. And your brain is screaming at you not to do it. I completely understand that that is what's going on. I want to teach you some things tonight and every night that I talk to you about getting past the trauma, making sure that your brain is actually under your control and you're not under its control, and you can move on. All right. So let me make sure I can see everybody. If you're here with me, make sure you give me likes, give me love. Let me know that you're here. All right. Come on in, come on in. Glad that y'all are here. So, the first thing that I'm always going to teach you about trying to get over this trauma is that you're going to have to do your deep breathing. Are you doing your deep breathing? If you're here with me, you know I have told you to do your deep breathing, right? I know that it is a very, very simple thing that seems very easy to miss. All right, I get that. Your brain, especially when your brain's on this trauma, it doesn't want you to do that. Your brain, when you are having the fight or flight response, when you are freaking out, it is a completely different breathing pattern than when you are doing your deep breathing. So you've got to do the opposite of what your body and your brain want to do with the trauma. All right. It's a very simple thing. Way to go. Kendra, hey girl, glad you're here. All right. So you've been doing your deep breathing, Kendra. I hope you've been doing your deep breathing. I hope everybody has been practicing this. Make it a practice. Set your alarm. My girl, Tessa said yesterday, she said, you know what? I took that to heart. I went ahead and put it in my alarm. Now, I don't always do it exactly what I'm supposed to, but it is set in my phone for 5 times a day. Just set it, okay? Just remind yourself deep breathing one, deep breathing two, deep breathing three, deep breathing four, deep breathing five, periodically throughout the day, and then just do it. When your alarm goes off, go ahead and go for it. Kendra said, I haven't, but I will start. Excellent. Excellent. Go for it. Well, since we're going to start, go ahead and start with me right now. We're going to do our deep breathing together. Now, more all the time, I want you to do it 5 times a day. But since we are here for a limited amount of time, we're going to do it 3 times together. Okay. What I do is 4, 7, 8 breathing. You can pick whatever numbers you would like to plug in there as long as you are doing a practice consistently. It will bring your anxiety way down. It will get you way back more in control of your body and your brain. Okay. So, what we do is blow out, make the noise when you blow out. Okay. You'll be triggering your brain that, oh, it's time to calm down. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. Okay. We're going to do this all together since we're here. All right. First things first, we're going to blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How does it feel when you are doing your deep breathing? Let me know in the comments. How do you feel? Like, how does your body feel? This is a trauma. So, this is not just a mental thing, this is a physical thing that has happened to you, okay? We got to start paying attention to our body. We got to start paying attention to what our body is doing. If your body is freaking out, if your heart is pounding out of your chest, if you feel like you can't swallow, if it feels like your vision is narrowed down to just this little bit in front of you, if there's blood rushing in your ears, those are all signs. Your body is trying to help you. So you got to pay attention to what's actually happening when that happens. All right. Doing your deep breathing will calm all that down. It adjusts everything back to where it's supposed to be. Kendra says, definitely feels calming. Exactly. It will settle you down. It is a signal to your brain that, hey, I am not in any danger. I have taken a look around. There is no saber-toothed tiger here to eat me. This is just my honey. This is the person that I want to be around. I love him. I want to be around him. This is not a threat. This is not a danger. I'm okay. And if you keep sending that message to your brain will believe you. Your brain will believe anything you keep telling it. Okay? Anything. If you keep saying it over and over and over again, your brain has no choice but to believe it. But if you are, because people think that their brain knows the difference between lies and truth, it does not. Okay. Your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. You can put on a VR headset and prove that, right? Can't you prove that to yourself that your brain does not know the difference between, oh, this is a simulation and oh, this is real life? Most of the time, it does not know that. All right. So, whatever you say is the truth. If you consistently say that you are calm, cool, and collected. You are forgiving. You are open. You are loving. You are happy. If you keep saying that, your brain is like, oh, I guess that's what we're doing. And it aligns with that. But if you keep focusing on what your brain says under trauma, which is always all negative, it doesn't have anything positive to say about anything. If you keep listening to your brain and feeding back that same message into your brain, it's not going to challenge you. It's going to say, yep, exactly. Everything is awful. Everything is terrible. You're terrible. He's terrible. The relationship is terrible. I don't even know why you try. You should just be by yourself. You should be in a hole somewhere. It will keep on feeding that back to you. Okay. So I need you to understand that you've got to take back control over your brain. Your brain is not trying to help you right now. You've got to make sure that you have decided what you want your brain to do, which is heal. So we've got to decide that. That's the first step of the journeys formula, too. Just so you know, making the decision that you want to heal. You do not want to continue to be stuck. You want to heal. You have to make that decision. And then every action after that has to be about actually healing. So if you do your deep breathing, that is a decision towards your healing. It affects your brain, it affects your body, it calms you back down, it centers you, it gets you back in control of your brain when your brain tries to wrestle control from you. It is a good thing to do. If you choose to heal, then you will choose to do your deep breathing, okay? All right. All right, next thing, second thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together, I need you to be doing your journaling. Okay, sweet babies, I need you to break open your journal. This is mine. This is my personal one for right this minute. I fill these bad boys up, but I'm not going to go in there. But yes, this was mine right now. It does not matter what you use. This one happens to be this big. I've got one that's this big. I got one that's fuzzy. I've got the Golden Girls. It does not matter what you use as long as you're using it. I need you to just get something and write. All right. And it's important. It really is important to write. I know that we are in a digital age. I know that we are typing, we are putting stuff into notepads on our phone. I absolutely do that too. However, when you are journaling, when it is your feelings, when you are trying to get in contact with your feelings, when you are trying to show your brain who's boss, it's better to use a pen and paper, okay? It just works a little bit better. Your brain takes that more seriously. The digital things, just your brain does not say, oh, this is permanent. It wants to see it written down in front of it, then it will let the thought go. Okay. So it's much, much better if you're trying to journal for your emotions, trying to get regulated again, to use paper and pen. Okay. All right. Now, a couple things you need to know about your journaling. You need to do your date. You need to do your time. You need to do your level of anxiety every time you journal. Okay. Date and time so that you can figure out patterns. There will be times that things happen, there will be days that things happen. You will know that because you will be consistently writing down, hey, when something was going on, it was this date, it was this time. Oh, yeah. Look back a week, that same date at 9:18 p.m., I got an issue. You will know that the triggers are coming if you write them down, okay? You won't be surprised. They won't spring themselves on you. You will know ahead of time, okay? Um, your level of anxiety, 0 to 10. We need to put a fence around these feelings because they can get like Godzilla big and you feel like they're going to crush you. We got to keep them at a scale that we can understand. So we're doing 0 to 10. Zero is no anxiety whatsoever. You are feeling good. All is right with the world. Write that down. It is super important. Okay. Write that down. Top of the page, put a star on it. Make sure that you recognize when you have good days because, like I said, on trauma, your brain says that everything is negative. So you can go into your journal and you can prove that your brain is lying to you by being able to go to these starred pages and say, this was a great day. Brain, what are you talking about? I did have a great day. It was just last week. All right. So you will be able to prove that your brain is messing with you. And then that gives you more power over what it's doing. It gives you more power to get back in control. Um, 10 is loss of control. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay. It is a complete loss of control. I can't help myself. I am throwing things. I am screaming at the top of my lungs, even though my voice is almost gone. The neighbors want to call the police. All sorts of stuff is going wrong at a 10, but you're not sitting down journaling at a 10. Okay. If you are sitting down with your journal, then you are at least at a 9. You are not actually at a 10. It will feel like you might still be at a 10, but you're not, because you're able to control a pen and paper. So it will give you the clue that, okay, well, maybe it's not quite a 10 right this minute. Right this minute, it's a 9, but an hour ago, it was most definitely a 10. Let me tell you about it. You can write it down like that, but don't in the moment say that I am a 10 writing in this journal, because you're not. You wouldn't be able to do it. Okay. All right. Third thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, every time we powwow like this, I need you to realize that I need you to do this badly. I need you to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Okay. This needs to be an everyday thing. This seems like something you shouldn't have to do when you are trying to heal from such a traumatic event, right? But the thing is, your brain with that trauma wants to make negative connections all over the place. That's all it wants to see is the bad stuff. It is negative. It is terrible. It is awful. I don't want to see any good. So we've got to intentionally take back over control of our brains and insert positive things. That's what we're doing when we're being grateful, when we are sitting here, we are talking about the things that make us happy, the things that make us feel good in life. That is what we are doing. We are reprogramming our brains after the trauma. If you don't do that, if you don't consistently do that, your brain will just keep skewing back towards the negative. But it's also very hard to just be happy. People, tell me that all the time. I can't fake being happy. You can't. You can't. You absolutely can't. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to be fake at all. But I want you to be in control of yourself. So, in control of yourself, you can think of things that you are grateful for, right? Even when you're having a rough day, you can still say, you know what? I am glad that X, Y, and Z exists in the world. I'm glad that it's in my life. Okay, I can get to that point. It's a very difficult jump from miserable and sad and traumatized to happy, but grateful is an intermediate step. It is coming from completely negative. We're going into the positive, but it's not super over emotional, totally letting go of the negative. You can be grateful and still acknowledge the negative. You can be grateful and still know that things are messed up. Okay. But you can be grateful in the moment, and that starts to change your wiring in your brain back towards the positive again. That's all we're trying to do, is just trying to undo a little of the damage that this trauma has done to your brain, an action at a time. Okay. So we're going to keep on practicing being grateful. All right. So that's why I do Thirsty Thursday. I want to hear the good stuff. I want to hear the stuff that you are excited happened in your life, the things that you are so grateful for, the things that you are like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that this wonderful thing has happened in my life, even though things are not good. Things have not been going the way that they should be. However, I can still recognize this good thing, and I can be grateful that it exists. Okay. Like, to me, right this minute, my daughter told me she is engaged. Ah, this week. I can't even believe that. I cannot believe I have a child. Oh, that came out of me that is actually old enough to like get engaged and get married. I can't believe that. I feel very old, but I'll be a young grandma though. So I'm excited about that. So my baby girl is gonna get engaged. She's gonna get married. Okay, anyway. So I'm grateful for that. You go ahead and give me some stuff that you're grateful for in the comments. I honestly, that's not even the only thing I'm grateful for, because we were all sick. Her, me, dad, my son, everybody. Everybody was sick this week with different stuff. We didn't even all have the same stuff. So it was just rough all the way around. And I'm glad we're all better. I am very glad about that. Thank you, Kendra. I will tell her that you said congratulations too, because she was so excited. I was like, yay, we excited. Plan a wedding. All right. Anybody else? Anybody got anything that you are feeling good about today? Anything you're like, oh, hey, Amber, I see you, girl. Anything that you are like, I am so grateful that this exists. I am so grateful that this is in my life right now. Go ahead, feel free to put it in the comments because I want to hear your good stuff. That's why I do the Thirsty Thursday. I want to encourage you to go ahead and think about the positive. It is very easy to slip away into the negative and it will draw you in. It's like a black hole. It will just keep on sucking you in until you actually start going for the positive and changing your perspective, changing what your brain is doing on a minute to minute basis. If you can start to just recognize things that are good and pure and things that you are grateful exist, your brain can't argue with that. Your brain can say that everything is awful. However, it cannot argue with you that you are grateful to have a roof over your head. No, it can't. It cannot argue with you that you are grateful that Wi Fi is a thing in this world today. It cannot disagree with you on that. So, it is a way to get back in control of your brain, to tell your brain who's boss. You can think of things that your brain can't even think of, and you need it to take a back seat and calm down and stop all this negative. Okay. Amber said my little man got his first haircut. Oh, I remember that. That made me cry. Oh, I saw his hair. I was like, oh no. But he was so cute afterwards. I bet he's cute. I'm sure he is freaking adorable with his first haircut. But I'm so happy for you. It's such a dear memory. I got pictures of it. He had a fro, boy, but once they cut some of it, I was like, oh no, oh my baby. But he looked like a little boy after that haircut. So I know he is just super cute. See, something that you can definitely be grateful for. You are grateful that that exists in the world right now. Your baby getting his first haircut, no matter what else is going on, no matter how things are going between the two of you, you know that there are still good things out here, and your brain can't hide those things from you if you are constantly looking for them. If you are constantly saying, hey, I want to be grateful, what can I be grateful for? Your brain will serve you up things to be grateful for. That changes your attitude, then that changes things around you. So it is an excellent thing to do, and I'm so glad. I know. Did you cry? Because I would have cried. I cried. I did. This first haircut, I cried. I was like, his hair. But he was just like he was a baby before that, and then we cut his hair, and he was just a little boy all of a sudden. It was just like startling for me. You did. You cried too. See, okay, all right. I don't feel bad now. And I'm like, I was sitting there like, why am I crying? I was like, because he was my baby. And he is freaking 17 now. Amber, let me tell you, whoo, it goes by super fast because him getting that first haircut in my father-in-law's kitchen, that was a minute ago. It was like 5 minutes ago. I swear it was. And he is a 17-year-old big old boy in my room right now. It's amazing how fast it goes. So savor all of this, savor every bit of it. Okay. All right. If anybody else got good stuff, things that they're grateful for, post them in the comments. I love to hear the good stuff. All right. Last thing that I always tell you every single time we get together because I really want you to practice this. Stop asking all the damn questions. Okay? I need you to stop. I know we have this thing right now. Everybody's like, oh, but you got to have full disclosure of everything that has happened before you can move on. I don't believe in that. Okay. I just don't. I'm just gonna go ahead and flat out say it. I don't believe in that. I feel like that's more damaging. We are in a trauma state when we are asking all of those questions. It is a state of our brains that it wants to know information. It wants to check out this threat. Give me every bit of information I can possibly find on this threat. So the more you do that, the more you are allowing your brain to say, this person who I love is a threat. And I understand, yes, indeed, he did wrong. I am not saying that he did the right things. I am not saying that he did not hurt you, but treating him as a threat is going to be a problem going forward. All right. If you want to stay with somebody, you can't treat them like a threat. You can't be doing that every single day, interrogating them and feel like things are going to work out for the best. You are treating them like you don't trust them. You are treating them like you don't love them. You're treating them like they are a perpetrator and you are the cop. All right. You do not have to play detective. You do not have to keep doing that. You know that they cheated. You know the important part of the story. All of those details, and did you love her, and what positions were you in? You don't need to know any of that. Okay. Get the basics and let's move from there. All right. I understand you want to catch them in a lie, but that is, again, the trauma response of, I don't believe this person. I'm going to catch them lying. I'm going to catch it. But the thing is, if you keep asking somebody the same questions over and over and over again, they're not going to say the exact same thing every single solitary time. You are really trying to play detective, trying to compare stories, and it is not good for your brain. It settles your brain into the idea that this person is a threat and that's how you got to treat them. And you're going to keep a wall up to somebody that you feel like is a threat. All right. Amber, you said your oldest is, oh, you said your oldest will be 16 in the fall. So you know about it. All right. So I know you want to ask the questions. I know that your brain is itching to do so, but that is because it is a trauma response. So we can't just go with the trauma response. All right. We've got to question why our brains are asking this question, because it is sneakily trying to say this person can't be trusted. Your judgment can't be trusted. You need to just be away from this person. You need to hide, run, get away from them. They're not good for you. That is what your brain is doing when you're asking those questions. So you've got to get back in control of your brain, and you've got to tell your brain, hey, look, none of that is useful. None of the answers to these questions will help me to heal. They're not going to help me to feel better. They are not going to fix anything in this relationship right this minute. I will find out more information. I promise you, you will find out more information. If what we are doing here is trying to exercise unconditional love that is going to last for a lifetime. That is what you are trying to do. The only reason that you would be trying to forgive somebody who cheated on you is because you want to stay with them for life, right? I am telling you, life is a very long time. It has been 17 years since my husband last cheated, okay? I'm telling you, in 17 years, I found out stuff about the cheating that I didn't even think to ask. I did not know to ask it because I was too close up on the problem. I was too close. I could not get perspective enough to be able to even ask the questions that I have gotten the answers to. So it's not about sweeping it under the rug. It is not going to be that, oh, I will never get these answers. You will get answers, but you got to heal some first. You've got to be able to actually absorb the answers. If your brain is traumatized and it is screaming and it's in alarm mode, do you really think you are absorbing these answers? Are you actually getting them fully? Because if you were, you wouldn't have to ask the same question over and over again, right? If you really were absorbing it, if it was getting through, if your brain was functioning the way that it should be, then you would be understanding a lot more. But you still feel confused about it, don't you? It doesn't work the way that we've been told that it works. We have to calm down first. We have to regulate ourselves, get our emotions back under control, and then we can understand. All right. Does that make sense? Let me make sure I'm not missing anything over here, because I want that to make sense. I want that to hit home, because I know that your brain is screaming at you that you have to ask these questions, but I'm here to tell you it is super useless to keep asking all those questions. It's going to stress you out. I know that somebody said in the, I think it was Marie said, well, I asked the questions and it made me feel better. Okay, you can ask some, yeah. But the constant question and the going back to it, okay, I got all my answers answered. Well, wait a minute, I thought of another question. Going back and continuously doing that is going to mess with your brain. We can't keep doing that, okay? Does that make sense? All right. Kendra said, every time I get more answers, I feel worse. I definitely put up a big wall and we were basically roommates for a few months. That's how it goes. Your brain is trying to say, this is a perpetrator. This is not somebody you love. This is not somebody. You don't question somebody you love like that. You do not interrogate somebody you care about in the ways that you was interrogating him, right? So if you are acting like he is not the person you love, you are acting like he is a threat, it's going to make you feel worse every time you get an answer because every answer is going to feel like a stab to the gut. I, I'm not a big fan of the full disclosure thing. I think if you know they cheated, you know the wins, where's, we don't even need to know whys and hows. We don't need to know that. Okay, we know when it happened, we know kind of where it happened. Was this long term? Was it short term? Like general idea about what happened. You do not need the details. Your brain is stressed out and angry enough as it is without you feeding it details to make it worse. Okay, we got to stop doing that. All right. And it's part of getting back into control of your body. It's part of getting back under control, getting back into control of yourself after this trauma. You have to take back control from the trauma response. And that is part of the trauma response. So we got to stop doing it. Okay. Now, that being said, okay, I understand that it is a trauma response and it makes your brain itch. You want to ask a freaking question. Okay. These questions are safe to ask. The End, THEAND. You can get these off of Amazon. I think they're like $30 now. From the good people at the Skin Deep. It is excellent questions. Okay, this is the Healing Edition deck. I will give you about 3 of these. You only need about 3 of them to start a conversation. That'll be pretty deep conversation. Okay, you don't need to deal out 5 or 7 of them like we're playing Uno. 3 tops. You can do 2, honestly. Okay. So, first one I'm going to give you is, if you could give me anything, what would it be and why? Isn't that a better freaking question than the last question you asked? Think about the last question you asked. Think about the last question that you asked of him to try and make yourself feel better after this trauma. Wouldn't it have been better if you had asked, if you could give me anything, what would it be and why? And had him actually answer that? Wouldn't this have been a better answer to have in your brain than the answer that you got? It's just so much better. You have to be very mindful about the things that you are saying and the things that you are doing as you are trying to heal, because this trauma response will make you say and do things that are completely out of your character or things that you wouldn't want to do. So you've got to be very careful about, okay, I'm going to be careful about what I ask right now. Let me go ask a question from the deck. We've got, how do you heal? Excellent question. I like that one very much. How do you heal? I am one of those people. I gotta have a little bit of alone time. I gotta have some quiets. I gotta have some scrolling time. I gotta be able to just go into myself for a little while. I'm an introvert. That's how I reboot. Is I go into myself. I'm an introvert who plays a really really good extrovert, but I am still an extrovert nonetheless. I'm an introvert nonetheless. And this one says, what are you going to take away from this conversation? All right. See, look at that. Tied the questions all together with that one. What are you going to take away from this conversation? Isn't that better questions than the ones you've been wanting to ask? I'm just trying to tell you, you will feel much better asking these questions than you do asking the other questions. All right. Like Kendra said, I'm telling you, if you ask the questions, it's just going to make you feel worse because it is designed to make you feel worse. It is not helpful from your brain. It is not trying to help you. It is not trying to make you process the feelings. It's lying to you when it says that. It is actually trying to gather ammunition. That's what it's doing. And every time you get more ammunition, you're like, oh, that's another thing that hurts. Ow. And now you got to internalize that. Just can we give up the questions? Everybody's here with me now. Can you just give the questions up? Just give them up for a week and see how you feel. It will start to rewire your brain. It's amazing when you uh if you like take it as far as you can take it and decide no questions at all, because what happens is this is a trauma response. So as soon as you ask a question like, how was your day, and he's like, it was fine. Well, what do you mean it was fine? What happened? It will just keep on going. You will not stop asking questions. It will be a whole line of them. So if you can stop yourself from asking any questions at all, how was your day, can turn into, I hope you had a really great day today. And let him offer to talk about it instead of you trying to steer conversation. It works so much better. And your brain will be like, wait a minute, she didn't ask a question. He didn't have to answer anything. I didn't have to see if he was lying. It starts to rewire what your brain did when it got traumatized. All right. That all makes sense? Hope that all makes sense to you. All right, so it's question time. Make sure if you got questions for me, go ahead and put them in the comments. I am here to answer all your questions about healing, reconciling, getting past it, dealing with the thoughts, dealing with the negative feelings, whatever it is that you got going on. Put it in the comments. I got you. Okay. All right, Tiffany. Oh, shoot. I forgot to tell Tiffany. Tiffany, I'm live now. About to answer your question. I forgot completely. I was going to tell her earlier. All right. So Tiffany said he is doing everything right. We are 3 years from D-Day. It was more emotional than physical. What can I do to help get past the hurt, the thoughts? I want to leave, but would rather stay. Can't get out of my head. Is this too much? And no, it is not too much. It is just exactly what most people are going through. Okay. So it is absolutely not too much. It is exactly what we all go through because it's a trauma. All right. If you don't start to heal from it, that's the first thing that stuck out with what you said is it's been 3 years. All right. People start to wait. People say, okay, well, they say time heals all wounds. So I'll just wait and hopefully in a couple of years I'll feel better. But you see from her question, from Tiffany's question, that's not the way it works. That is not the way the trauma actually works. What happens is you sit there and wait, and the trauma keeps festering. It keeps on doing what it does. It keeps changing your brain, changing your body. And now the changes have been stuck for a while. Now you're 3 years on trying to go back and actually undo the damage that the trauma has done. It's much better to start from like right when you first start dealing with this, as much as you, as close to D-Day as you can possibly be, to start to heal, to start to get past the trauma, because the further out it is, the longer it takes. It seems like it is just drags at your heart. Okay. All right. So she said it was more emotional than physical. It really honestly doesn't matter. I know some women feel like the emotional cheating is worse than the physical cheating. Some people say that the physical cheating is worse than the emotional cheating. The camp of I'd rather you his body than his heart, or I'd rather you have his heart than his body. I get both camps. I get it. I understand either way is cheating, but it doesn't really matter as far as the healing. Okay, as far as this process goes, it doesn't matter if it was physical or it was emotional. It is still the process of getting your brain back under control after this trauma, gathering up your marbles, making your brain do what it you tell it to do instead of what it's doing automatically, like emergency mode. What can I do to help get past the hurt? Oh, so many things. And the thoughts. All right, first thing for the thoughts, you can't replace, you can't stop a negative thought. You can't erase it from your brain. You can only overwrite that thought. So if there is a negative thought, we need to go for a positive thought right on top of it and say it, repeat it over and over again, like affirmations. Say it in the mirror. Look at yourself while you are talking to yourself and say, he doesn't love me. He never thought I was beautiful. He never wanted me. All right. We need to make that, flip that around and make that into an affirmation. I am feminine. I am beautiful. I am desirable. Flip it. Okay. Immediately start to go for a more positive thought instead of that negative thought, letting it just hang there. That's kind of what you've been doing. You'll let the thought go, and then you'll ruminate on the thought a little bit. And, well, yeah, maybe this is exactly what it is. Maybe he just never loved me. Maybe he just never cared. Maybe I was never good enough. You start to spiral on down into more negative thoughts. So every time there is a negative thought, and this is something that I tell every one of my clients, if you have worked with me, please tell them that I tell you this. I need you to call those negative thoughts lies. I need you to say, when you hear that negative thought and it clenches you up in some way, because it is a physical thing we're talking about. This trauma, it physically affects your body. So it's not just in your brain. When you think these things, you will feel it in your body. So you will feel it in your body when there is one of those negative thoughts. It's like a punch to the gut. Where do you feel it? Breathe through that feeling. Understand that, oh, that was my brain taking a shot at me. And then come back with positive thought after positive thought after positive thought. It has to be intentional, because the more you do it, the less your brain will need help to do it. You train your brain to look for a certain thing, it will look for that thing. It will do what you tell it to do. So you've got to stop your brain as soon as it gives you that gut punch and say, oh, that was mean. Absolutely not. That is a lie. I do not believe it. Gone back somewhere with that. I am not going to believe that. I am choosing to believe the exact opposite. And this is what the exact opposite thought of that negative thought is. And repeat it and say it again and look yourself in the eye and repeat it again and tell your brain that you don't want to believe the negative one. You want to replace it with the positive one. It does work. It seems like it shouldn't. I know I tried it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. All I got to do is talk to myself, but that's what worked, was telling myself, hey, 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 hey. I heard that. That was not a nice thought. I, that is not helpful at all in this situation. I'm going to need you to shut that on up. That's a lie. And I need you to think something better. I need you to go ahead and think of a better thought, because that was ugly and I don't want to think like that. And it was consistently doing that that convinced my brain that that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the good thought. I wanted the good thought. You can keep on trying to give me the bad thought, but I'm going to keep on rejecting it every single time. The hurt goes away with that, because a lot of the hurt comes from the thoughts. A lot of the hurt goes away when you start challenging those thoughts and saying, no, absolutely not. I will not believe that awful thing that my brain just came up with. Brain, how dare you? Get right. Think of something else. It starts to dampen that pain, because you are not taking it as seriously. You are not saying to your brain, oh, I believe it. Oh, that shot to my gut. I believed every bit of it. You're not believing it anymore. And so then the pain level goes way, way down. Does that make sense? I want you to not hurt anymore. Lord knows that is the big thing. I want you to feel like you are not trapped in pain for any longer than you already have been. You have been in pain entirely too long as it is. So we shouldn't have to keep on thinking the same thoughts and doing the same things that are hurting us when we can have control over that. She said, I want to leave, but would rather stay. That is a very, very common sentiment. It is very difficult when your brain is screaming and it's in alarm mode. That is called fight or flight. You want to either fight with this person or you want to run away real fast. And that is where that whole push and pull comes from. You know, in your heart, the person you are, Tiffany, the person that you are, whoever you are watching me, you know who you really are loves this person. They changed your world. Even though they have hurt you in this way, you are still so enamored with them that you say, you know what, I'm going to try out doing unconditional love. I think that I got something strong enough that I can work for it, that I can say, you know what, I'm not going to leave him behind just because of this mistake. If you got that, go ahead and run with it. But it's two sides of that coin, because once you feel like that and it makes you want to let the wall down, then the alarms start going off again, and your brain is like, absolutely not. Oh no, he is a danger. He has bitten before. We are not going to do that. We are not going to open ourselves up to that. But it is the real you versus the fear-based you. It's that trauma monster that is speaking is not who you actually are. So the part of you that is like, I want to love, I want to be understanding, I want to be compassionate, I want to go ahead and forgive, that is really you. Okay. That other part is the same in everybody. It's always fearful. It always wants to run. So you don't have to listen to something that is not actually you. It is scary to listen to you. It is scary to listen to what your heart is saying, and your heart is saying stay, and your heart is telling you that I would suffer without this person. I'm suffering, yes, with him, but I would suffer more if he was gone. That is a huge thing. You should listen to your heart if it's telling you that. You shouldn't actually break your own heart just because other people say that you're not supposed to want that. Are we? No, we're not doing that. No, that we're just not doing that. I'm not even gonna question that. We are not doing that. We are gonna have the lives that we want. We are gonna be happy with the people that we want, in spite of what other people are gonna say. Because everybody's gonna have something to say about your life. Okay, that is just a guarantee. It doesn't matter if it's about the cheating. Doesn't matter if it's about your kids. Doesn't matter if it's about your job. People are always going to have something to say about your life, but that is because they're an audience. That's because you're the main character. That's because they are watching you live this thing the way that you are living it, and they are fascinated. They want to have some input on the dream life over here because they can't believe what you're doing. They cannot believe that you are doing such an incredibly difficult and dangerous thing, such as opening yourself back up again. All right. That is what you got to contend with. It's either listen to what you really want or listen to what other people say that they would want in their relationships and they're not happy. I'd rather go ahead and listen to myself. I'd rather go ahead and stay and work things out because I wanted to, because I chose to, than just listen to other people and live my life according to what other people say that I should want. Absolutely not. I'm too much of a feminist to do so. I can't do it. Right? And then you can't get it out of your head. If you can't get things out of your head, you got to go back to your body. Remember, this is connected. This is a trauma. It is a physical and emotional and mental thing. Things are going on inside your body. So if you can't get out of your head, do your deep breathing. Sit down, do your deep breathing 5 times. If it doesn't help, do it another 5 times. You focus on the breath coming into your body, how your lungs feel when they are expanded and filled up with that oxygen. Feel like your bloodstream going and grabbing those molecules of oxygen, and then how it feels for that breath to leave your body. Focus on that. It will get you right out of your head. That is actually a very good tip for sex, too. If you are in your head and you're like, oh, I'm thinking about him and her, and you're not in bed with him all by yourself, you can just bring it back to your breath flowing into your body, your breath flowing out of your body. It will get you out of your head, make you stop thinking those terrible things about them while you're trying to be intimate with him. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints. I am here for you, babe. Let me know and I will answer you. Um Dang. Tiffany, you couldn't find it. I sent you the link. Okay. But I just answered your question, Tiffany. Don't you worry. You can go back and look. Hashtag replay. Hashtag replay if you want to catch it on the replay, okay? All right. Let's see. Anybody got any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything? Let me tell you a little bit about my dreams formula. Now, if you are on Instagram, go ahead and put in path. It will send you the link to get on my list and get your copy of the dreams formula. If you are in my Facebook group, chances are you might have given me your email address already. If you gave it to me, I sent you a copy just go look for it. Okay. It might be in your spam, might be in your promotions, but if you gave me your email when you join the group, you have a copy of the Dreams Formula in your inbox. Now, if you have not given me your email address and you want a copy of the Dreams Formula, go to the top of the page. It is the purple and blue little icon. It says, here it is. Get your free copy of the Dreams Formula, 6 steps to get you on your healing path after infidelity. It says in the picture how to heal and reconcile after infidelity. Just go click on that and put in your name and email, and I will send it to your email. Okay. But I'll give you a little bit about the Dreams Formula since we got a little bit of time left. The Dreams Formula is what I found out worked when I was trying to heal from infidelity. When I was struggling, when I was like, this is my person. How the hell do I get over this? I knew, okay, I was not in any type of denial whatsoever. He is just the one, okay? I I found him. I knew it the moment I heard his voice. I heard his voice before I even saw what he looked like. I still knew he was the one the second I heard his voice. The world shifted, okay? I meant that. I knew from the very beginning he was the right person. So when the cheating happened, it was not a matter of, well, what do I do? Do I stay or do I go? I knew I wanted to stay. I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I knew that we were going to have to work this out because he was not going to ruin my fairy tale. He just wasn't going to do it. I didn't care how bad he acted. He was not going to ruin my fairy tale. Okay. And it's interesting because even in my fairy tale, like I had to have a man that was like a high degree of difficulty because I get bored easily. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we would have been all right still if he hadn't cheated. But whoo, he made me step up my game. I'm trying to tell you, never a boring moment. Never, not in 23 years, 23, almost 23 years. Never a dull moment. All right. But I knew he was my person, and I made up my mind from the moment I found out about the cheating that I was going to work this out. I was going to find a way. I was going to figure it out. And I went researching, honey. I did research. I was in the library. I was in books. I was in marriage counseling, everything. I did everything that I could possibly do. And what happened was I would do the things that I found in these books and in groups and all that, and they wouldn't work. They would cause more problems. I would have more issues. I would be in pain. He would be mad. I was like, something is wrong here. Something is happening that I don't understand here. So, what I did was I started doing the exact opposite of everything that wasn't working. Okay. So, give you some examples. The Dreams Formula D is decide. The decision was mine. I didn't think that at first. Everybody else told me he's got to make the decision to stop. He's got to make the decision that he actually wants to be with you because he cheated, then that means that he didn't really actually want to be with you, which isn't true anyway. But again, the decision had to lie with him. And I kept trying to make him make that decision. And he was like, I am here. You're the one having a problem. You're the one that is sad. You're the one that can't let it be in the past. I am here. I am not leaving. I wasn't going anywhere. And it took me a minute to finally understand, oh, he actually wasn't going anywhere. Maybe what they told me, maybe what they said that, oh, because he cheated, he never intended to be with you. Maybe that wasn't true. Maybe that was wrong. All right. So if it's not his decision, then whose decision is it? It's mine. Well, thank the Lord because I can make some decisions. All right. Well, I had already made my decision. It was simple. So I was like, okay, well, that's made up from now on. And every time I started to look to him to make the decision, well, you've got to tell me what you want. No, he doesn't, because his decision making has been bad lately. He has not been making good decisions. I should be the one making the decisions around here now, shouldn't I? I knew that he wasn't making good decisions. I decided to go ahead and just trust that we are going to be together. He is just going to have to figure it out. He's going to have to work this out. Whatever he needs to do to fix this, he is going to have to do because we are going to be together. Best thing I ever did. Just getting to that point. gave me an anchor. It gave me a point to always come back to. I have already made this decision. There is no need for me to get stressed out about it. There is no need for me to go back and forth and be on the fence and do I really want to stay? The decision was already made. The decision is already made. All I need to do now is get in alignment with that decision. Does that make sense? It was a breakthrough for me. All right. That's why it's the first thing that comes up in the dreams formula because it's so important. If you make the decision, you can always come back to your own decision and reorient yourself from there. Tell your brain to shut the hell up and no, I have already made my decision. I know that I am going to be with this person. You're going to have to get into alignment with me, brain. All right. I'll go to the second one too. The second step of the dreams formula, the R in the dreams is to recognize and then overcome the fear speech that you are going to hear from everywhere. It is going to come from inside your own head because that's a trauma response. Your body and your brain are in alignment with each other saying, everything is awful. He's terrible. You should be afraid. How could you possibly make the decision to stay? Okay. That decision comes with a lot of fear. All right. And you are going to hear fear from other people outside your own head who are also going to say the same thing because they've been through the same thing. They have had this trauma before and they were like, it didn't work for me. It went badly. He kept on cheating. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You should be afraid. You should not be doing this thing. You shouldn't make up your mind that you want to be with him. You should just leave. Everybody on the inside and everybody on the outside will be saying that to you. You have to recognize that is fear. They are talking to you from their trauma speaking straight to your trauma. That's what you're hearing when you do that. When you go into these groups where they're like, girl, you should just leave them. I don't know why you're even bothering. Know your own worth. All of that. All of those groups, all of those women that say all of that, they have tried to stay before. They're telling you not to stay because it didn't work for them. They're telling you that because they're afraid that you're going to go through the same pain that they did. Now, again, they could have made it work. It could have done it. If it's your person and you want to work it out, you absolutely can work it out. I know that about you. All right. Already. I know that if I can do it, I know for sure that you can do it. All right. But it's very difficult when that fear is coming at you from outside and then it's in your brain too. It is a very difficult situation. So you got to recognize that fear and then you got to reject it. You got to overcome it. You got to say, hey, that sounds like you're just afraid that I'm going to get hurt, but I signed up for possibly getting hurt just being on this planet. That's what I did. So I'm going to just go ahead and run with the love that I wanted to have. I'm just going to go ahead and run with that. And if I get hurt in the meantime, then that's the price. That's what happens. I'm not going to sit here and be afraid of the pain anymore. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So that was what I did with the dream formula. Everything that I had found out that was not working at all, that was making everything worse, the asking the questions, trying to find out everything, just made everything worse. I just stopped doing it. I just decided I wasn't going to do it anymore, flipped it on its head, did the exact opposite of what everybody was telling me to do. And that turned out to be the path. That was the shortcut out of the woods. Okay. And I want to share the shortcut with you. So please make sure you pick up a copy of the Dreams Formula. I promise you, if you get that and you can, there's a link in there to get on a call with me too. So if you go through it and you read through it and you're like, yes, this makes perfect sense, then come on and get on a call with me and we can get you like out of the woods so much faster. Okay. We really can. Let's see. Kendra said, voice sounds weird to me. How do we start conversations for reassurance without bringing up the infidelity? Say what it is you want. Say what it is that you want to be reassured about. Is it, do you think that I'm beautiful? Hey, I need you to say that I'm beautiful. If that's what it is, if you're like, I want him to reassure me that he thinks that I'm the most beautiful woman in the world, just say that to him. Look him in his eyes, look him into the windows of his soul and say, hey, tell me I'm the most beautiful woman you have ever been with. Just say it, okay? Cut out the middleman. Don't try and beat around the bush. Whatever it is, and that requires you actually knowing what it is that you are asking to be reassured about. What is it that you need? Ask for it directly. Don't have a whole conversation. You don't have to have a whole conversation. You don't have to sit there and have a whole long drawn out thing. Talk to me about your feelings about me and talk to me about loving me and how it makes you feel and how you want me to feel about it. You don't need to do all of that. Just tell him. Tell him, hey, I need you to tell me that I am just the sexiest woman that you have ever had sex with. Come on, let me hear it. And let me and make it good. Make me feel it. All right. I need you to come over here and lay a kiss on me like you just met me and you couldn't keep your hands off me. I want you to come hug me and hold me and cuddle me and kiss me on my forehead and tell me I'm a good girl. Whatever it is you need, tell him. Just tell him to do it and just let him do it. All right. It it will reassure you that you can ask for what you want and he will do it. All right. It will shorten up all that conversation because that's what's annoying him most of the time is all that conversation around it when you could just ask for what you specifically want. Um, you'll be learning that you can trust him. He'll be learning that you'll be clear. And then we can just go ahead and he'll know, okay, this was a thing that she really liked. She really enjoyed it when I just squeezed her real tight and kissed her on her forehead and said that she was a good girl. Okay, I can do that again. I can do that. If that will get me that giggle that she gave me, that hug, that squeeze that she gave me back, if that will get it for me, I will most assuredly do that one little thing for my boo. All you got to do is ask. Don't have a conversation. Don't have a conversation at all. Don't do it. Just ask for what it is that you want. And that requires knowing what you want. So it's you're trying to get the conversation to try and find how you're going to be reassured. You want to sit there and talk about it and think bring up some different topics and see if talking about something will help you out. But if there is something in particular that you just want, and that's what it always comes down to, it is something that you just want. It is something I want you to have sex with me in the same place that you have sex with her at. Okay, well, fine. If you really, really want that to happen, if that will make you feel happy, if that will make you feel good and reassured, just ask for it. Just say it. That's all you got to do. All right. No, no, no conversations about it. Just be like, hey, come here. I need you to do something for me. And say it with need. Say it, I need you to do this for me. And just let him know that that's what you need, and he'll do it. All right. And then you'll know that he'll do it, and you'll know that he loves you because he's willing to do what you ask him to do, because that's how men show love. They're like, I'll do what you want me to do. Just tell me what you want me to do. That's how they show love. They want you to let them know what it is that you want so that they have the opportunity to actually do it for you. And then they feel good. They're like, see, I showed you I love you. And if you can actually take love from that, then you're going to be a lot happier. All right. Amber, hey girl. He said, what if he asked why you were asking him to be reassured? Just tell him, I want to hear good things from you. You are the sun to my flower. When you shine on me, I feel so wonderful. Tell him that. Gas him up. All it comes down to is you care. You care about what he thinks. It makes you happy to hear him happy with you. That's it. That's all you're asking for is for him to show you that he's happy with you, and you just want to hear that. Just tell him that you want to hear it. That makes sense. It's a lot simpler to deal with men than you think it is. They are not complex creatures. They are not. There's no need to have conversations and try and draw the feelings out. All you got to do is say what you want and they will do it. They more than likely, if you have somebody who loves you, more than likely they'll be like, okay, sure. You just want me to hug you for 30 seconds? All right. You want me to kiss you on your lips for 10 seconds? All right, fine. You want me to kiss you on your neck, above your collarbone for just a few minutes? I can do that. Okay, thank you. Yes, do that. And then you practice accepting that. You practice saying, see, this person loves me. I just asked them for something and look, I got it. And then you would practice accepting it and letting it be a part of your life and letting it be a good thing. And then um, you will like be more open about asking for more things that you want because that will lead to your brain to be like, well, this was nice, but let me try a little bit more this way. Your brain will do that because it'll be thinking about good things now instead of bad things all the time. Does that make sense? They're not that hard. Just ask for what you want. We feel like we have to have a conversation about everything. I get that because we're taught to converse. We're taught to, okay, if we converse, if we get all our feelings out, then everybody feels understood. But that's how you communicate with women. With men, it's a little simpler. With men, it's a little bit more streamlined, it's a little bit more direct. Give him a headline, and then we can talk about the rest of the news article. Does that make sense? Because, well, not really hearing a lot of papers around anymore, but that's the way it used to be. The headline, bang, that tells you what is going on. This is the story. And then, okay, after that, you got some columns with some other information. And here, this is the other details of the story, but bang, that's the headline. Just tell them the headline. It just works so much better that you communicate with them excellent when you just give them a headline. And you can talk about all the details later if you want to, but more than likely, if you just tell him, hey, I want you to kiss me on my forehead because that's going to make me giggle like a schoolgirl, he's going to do it. He's not gonna he's not gonna be like, no. He's gonna be like, okay, if that makes you happy. And then you show him. Then you show him that it made you happy. You giggle, you smile, you give him a little bit of extra attention, whatever it is you gotta do to say, that was a good thing you did. That made me happy. He'll do it over and over and over again. That makes sense? Let me know if I sound crazy. It's so funny because I say that all the time. People argue with me on a regular basis. I have clients and they argue with me on a regular basis, but nobody really calls me crazy because I'm not saying anything that's crazy, am I? I'm saying things that when you hear it, you're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that does sound right. And that's why I like to point out to my clients, I'm not telling you anything wild. Your brain on the trauma will be telling you some wild stuff. I'm telling you like basics. I'm telling you, like, very, very simple, basic stuff that if you just go ahead and implement it instead of making it extra complicated, you will make it a lot simpler for you to heal. You will make it a lot simpler for you to connect. That's all I want for you. I want it to be simpler for you. I don't want this to keep on being so difficult. I went through it all by myself and it was difficult. All right. I want you to have some help to know that I am here for you and be able to actually get through this feeling like, oh, I'm not an idiot. I knew damn well what I was doing. I knew that this person was the person that I loved. I wanted to be with them. I am happy I made this decision. You can get to that place. It just takes a little follow through. That's it. All right. All right. Glad that makes sense to you, Kendra. All right. So last thing, every time we get together, I'm always going to remind you, you need to be doing your affirmations. Remember, we were talking about the gratitude practice to be grateful for things that are positive in your life. Well, guess what? You're one of those things. You are a positive thing. So you've got to appreciate yourself. You've got to start looking at yourself in the mirror and appreciating what you see. I know that we can be terribly critical about our bodies, feeling that our self worth is attached to how we look. I don't look like this woman. I don't look like that woman. I need you to stop comparing yourself to anybody, okay? You are the most beautiful, unique creature in your story, okay? You are the main character in your story. You can't compare to anybody else's story because you don't know what their story is about, all right? I'm a big girl, all right? I am 6 feet tall. I am over 300 pounds. I was never going to be one of those little skinny chicks you see on the videos. Okay. I was never gonna be that. That was never gonna be my story. All right. I had to be who I was born to be. I had to love every bit of this body to be able to get to the place where my confidence was good enough so that I felt like I could actually accomplish things. You know what I mean? Like you got to believe that no matter what you look like, no matter how tall, short, fat, skinny, that you are worthy. You are enough. You are the main character. So if you start treating yourself like that, if you start doing your affirmations on a day to day basis and believing what they say, telling yourself over and over again that this message, this powerful message to yourself, if you do it consistently, you will start to believe it. No matter what you look like, you will start to know that you are beautiful. And it will change, it changes your thinking. Um, I spent a long time believing bad things about myself, that I'm so big and oh, people are thinking that I'm just ugly and I'm too fat and I'm too this, I'm too that. And honestly, like that is a bad coping mechanism. That is called mind reading. That is, I think I know what something else, somebody else is thinking. That's what that is. And I realized that it was a bad coping mechanism, and I was like, wonder what would happen if I changed that around. What if I'm sitting here trying to mind read and think that everybody believes that I'm just too fat and I'm just too ugly? What if I chose to believe, since I'm going to lie to myself, if I chose to believe that what they're actually thinking is, I am gorgeous. I am a statuesque model. I am rocking the runway. Are dying to take my picture. Flashing lights everywhere, darling. All right. What if that is what I believed about myself? What if that is what I believed that other people believed about me? That changed everything. Because let me tell you, people started treating me like that. People started waving and smiling, wanting to talk to me and interact with me. That's what happened very quickly after I decided, well, since I'm delusional and believing that I know what other people are thinking, I'm going to believe that they're thinking good things instead of bad things. That change in me seemed to inspire change all around. So I need you to just be aware of that. Whatever it is that you are saying to yourself is what other people are going to get from you. All right. So today's affirmation is, today I am powerful. Today I know that I have the power and wisdom to accomplish everything I choose to do. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Wouldn't you rather think that about yourself than something else? I don't want to think negative things about myself. I want to think good things. So look yourself in the eye and say after me, today I am powerful. Today I know that I have the power and wisdom to accomplish everything I choose to do. Remember, we were talking about it? Choosing, making your decisions. You got to make your decision. You got to choose what you want to do and you can accomplish it. All right. All right, y'all. That is about it. Everything that you can do every single day to start to get over this trauma. I lay it all out for you. All right. We need to do our deep breathing. We need to do our journaling. We need to be grateful. We need to stop asking all those destructive questions. We need to do our affirmations. We need to stop believing all the negative and replace it with positive. We need to call those negative thoughts lies and stop listening to what they want to do because they're always leading us wrong. Um, we want to do so many things. We want to get back in control and regulate our bodies. All right. Once you have gotten back in control, the roller coaster ride stops. You can choose what you do from there. But you got to start with that part. All right. So I think that's about it, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Make sure you don't do what the fear tells you to do. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you for trying on unconditional love. All right. All right, y'all. That's it. I will see you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye. Bye, Instagram. And bye over here on Facebook and YouTube.